What is up, everyone? This is Connor, and welcome to House here with Rob today to talk about another deep dive of one of these new advanced game options coming in Update 1.2.2. We have already talked about legacy paths, the ability to turn them on and off, and Rob's already done an overview of all of this, but we think there are a couple other things within this section that we just have to dive into a little bit more. So before we do that, quick reminder to like and subscribe. We've gotten to 1,000 subs, huge mile marker, but we want to keep growing. Want to keep fostering this community. We've really enjoyed it and are very excited, based on especially this video and this content, for the future of Civ. So yeah, Rob, talking about custom AI difficulty today. Let me go ahead and just read the section from the blog, and then we'll get into discussing.
Also, shout out real quick to Jacobiened.
Yeah.
House family member.
Love it. Thank you, Jacobiened. Join him in the House family. Memberships are live, so hop on those. But let's get into custom AI difficulty. So, right, you can see right in the middle of the screen. For all players that want more or less of a challenge from the AI, you'll appreciate this change. You'll still have the 6 standard difficulties, but now you can go in and tweak individual systems like economy, combat, and expansion, customizing your AI opponents to your liking. This is certainly a bit vague right now. We don't know exactly what this means in some ways, Rob, but I think both you and I agree this is a super positive change.
I think that there is a world where this is the biggest change that Civ has ever made. And the reason I say that, now I could be missing stuff, I will say, but for me, we've always had such an issue where we get to, immortal difficulty or deity, right? And you're sitting there and you're like, well, the computer's not necessarily better than me, right? It's more that they had such a head start. They have 3 civs or 3 cities or something like that before you can even, consider 2. And it's just like they're just given such insane advantages instead of, having the AI just be a lot smarter. And so what I think that this is going to allow you to do is to really, like sliders in college football or game, NBA or whatever sports game you like, right? Yeah. Where you're going to be able to customize how you like to play against the AI and what the difficulty is going to be. And that's something that Civ fans have asked for forever. I remember that being in Civ 5 and Civ 6. I have a good friend who loves 5 and 6. I mean, thousands of hours in it, but he won't even touch Civ 7 yet. And I think that this would be kind of a way to get him back in. Is when I tell him, I'm going to see him actually tonight. And when I tell him, I'm like, hey, like they're adding this AI difficulty stuff, he's going to be like, oh, well, dude, because he loves to play on deity, like that's his thing.
Yeah.
And he has always complained that sometimes it feels impossible just because they have, such an insane start. And I know that's kind of the point, but to a certain degree, I want it to be more that it's just because the AI is smarter and making better choices than it is necessarily that they have, 1,000 gold tier 1 to start off the game. So this is huge to me. I really cannot emphasize that, like, they kind of threw it in here with everything else, but I really do believe that there's a lot more to this than people are gonna, I don't know, give it credit for.
Yeah, I completely agree, Rob. I think this is, when I go to create a game, if I'm just playing offline, just for me, just to enjoy the game, one of my favorite things, and I've always done this in Civ, is I like to go in and decide all of my opponents, my AI opponents, like what leader they're going to be and what Civ. And I try to make a really a fun set of combinations. So like if maybe like Confucius with the Maya, just like a super science Civ. Sorry, I think my computer just freaked out a little bit there. But like a super science Civ combination, right? Or like I might want to go Trung Troc with Persia in the beginning in like a crazy military start. And a lot of times it feels lackluster when I do these combinations, and then the civs don't play in the most optimal way. Like if I build this super strong culture combo, and then they don't push culture, well, like that feels weird. I know there are game situations that might change the course of that, and maybe the AI is just adapting or something, but it really feels like that should be the lane they go in, and I'm playing the game to play against a challenging culture opponent or military opponent or whatever, and that forces me to react differently to all my opponents, and that's like so much of what I love about when I'm building my own Civ game to play. And I really think this, to your point, I really think this will help that. It's like sliders. It's a great comparison. I would love to be able to tune, Xerxes the Achaemenid to go full economy only and like leave me alone militarily. That's not what you would be doing. You would be focused on getting as much gold and as many resources as possible. So do that, buddy. Go on. And let me see what that ends up playing out as. So that's the kind of thing that I'm super jazzed about with this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what's interesting is they say tweak individual systems like economy, combat, and expansion. There are going to be more.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. It sounds like they are going to be more. And I think that it's important that we really acknowledge the fact that this is truly the most customizable game at this point that we've ever had. And I'm intrigued to see how much of it they're going to give us right now, how much maybe they will give us later. There's, I think, a lot of different options that are going to be available to us. And I think that there will be more as time goes on as well. But like, if it's like, hey, I want AI difficulty at deity, but I want it so that it's not that they have, 3 settlers to start, or, I don't want it to be that they have, 4 warriors, right, or swordsmen or whatever, right? Like you don't have to do that, and I think it makes the game not only more enjoyable, but I do think that it allows you to, like you said, it allows you to customize the experience with a lot of really like interesting options. Like maybe you want to make, when Gandhi gets added, go check out the Gandhi video that we made, by the way. Maybe you want Gandhi to be a genocidal maniac who's slinging nukes all over the place. Then give him like a bunch of like desire to be in military. Give him extra units or something like that. Again, I don't know if it's going to be that it's like their desired way to be within these certain styles. I don't know if it's the like amount of things that they're going to get at the beginning of the game, but if it's either of those or a combination of both, this all sounds great to me. Like really, really great.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's like a tendency thing, because like to your point, it'd be hilarious if like Jay Rizzy was just a warmonger, and I just have insane, angry warmonger Jose Rizal just running around destroying everyone. That sounds pretty fun. But I think this is, when you think about this, it's cool by itself. It really is. Like, this is like, to your point, Rob, this is the most customizable we've ever been able to make AI opponents once we get this update. It sounds like. This is a little bit theoretical, so don't hold us to this exactly. We don't know yet. But when you pair it with the legacy path optionality, it starts to really get interesting, right? Because you could turn off every legacy path except for military. I brought this up in the last video. And then you can make every AI crazy militarily inclined. And you could just see who the last man standing is. And like, that sounds like a completely new way to play a game within this sandbox that we've played a million times. That is what this update is all about to me. It is, can I approach this game from a fundamentally different perspective and play it in a completely new way? We get mods, we get the ability to change AI, we get legacy path optionality, we're getting the ability to tweak every part of the game right now. So basically, if you're a player, if you can live with the engine and the art style, the rest is kind of up to you. And it's kind of on you if you hate it at this point, to me. That's just my perspective. But I think this is awesome. Like, I can see so many possibilities with this. Like I said, especially when you pair with the legacy path change. Like, we could talk for hours about all the stuff you could do with this, I feel. So, super stoked.
And we're going to get to.
Yeah.
Like, it's coming out literally next week. Connor and I will be taking a look at this.
Yeah.
Maybe a little less Connor. He's going to be a very, very busy boy that week. But
I know.
There will be some content, and we will be going over kind of all these changes. I expect that we will also hear about Right to Rule soon. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be interested to see kind of how, they add everything in with that. Because, like, they're still going to be updating the game in a lot of other ways as well, just beyond the way that you can play it. I don't know. This AI difficulty thing, though, is going to be, I think it's sneaky, potentially the biggest change that they've ever made, at least in Civ 7, potentially, maybe not all time, but at least for Civ 7. I'll put it that way. Yeah. At least for Civ 7. So,
especially if, they're not really telling us the bounds of customization here, but like, there could be a lot. I mean, you could create, in theory, Like, again, I don't know if it'll go this deep. It probably won't. But, like, what if you could create, like, tendencies towards, like, hating other players historically? Like, this player really likes these two nations because they would. This player really doesn't like this one nation. Like, they're always going to be at odds with each other. Or, like, and then you could build it up where, like, the two cultural civs hate each other. The two scientific civs hate each other. Everyone else is kind of free form battling it out or something. Like, there's just so much to unlock with this, I think. Now, Rob, I guess there is, to be devil's advocate like I like to do, there's a total possibility that this is extremely lackluster and comes out and you really can't do that much. Like, it allows you to check a box, like, focus economy. Well, like, if that's all it is, you can scrap a lot of this video. To be honest, I think you and I, well, let me just say this. I think I have a certain expectation for what this means in my head, because this is a little bit vague. And if it completely misses that, I will be frustrated, because, like, I really want to be able, if you're going to tell me I can customize how the AI plays, I want to be able to customize it. I don't want to just, like, check a few boxes. So, I don't know.
I think there's a likelihood that may be the way it starts. I do think eventually we could get to what you and I are talking about, but it's possible that it's going to be this system that you want. I mean, you know, it's still, like, they even say straight up, you'll still have the 6 standard difficulties.
Right.
But you can go in and tweak the individual systems of the game. And so I think that that's where it's going to be like, what do you turn on or off? Where do you move things? How do you kind of connect it? I don't think we're going to have as much customization yet as we're talking about, but it is the start of it. And I think we can eventually get there. And if at a minimum, nothing else, a modder will probably do it.
Yeah, that's at the end of the day, that's like the bottom line here, is that this comes in conjunction with so many other customization options, with Steam Workshop support, with, you know, they have a whole section at the bottom of this post that we're going to talk about at some point too, that is the journey ahead. So we have a lot more on the horizon here, but we want to do at the very least hop on today, talk about the kind of custom AI difficulty, our impressions of it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear from you all about what you think is good or bad here, what changes you think are going to happen. Is this, as Rob said, to quote Rob, is this potentially the biggest change to Civ 7 they've ever made? To a Civ game they've ever made? Let us know in the comments. But as always, thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate everyone. Be sure to like and subscribe, as always. Become members of the Civ House family. And from our house to yours, we hope you'll join us for one more turn here at Civ House. We'll see you next time.